Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are going to look together at problem number 7 from this week 8 quiz access chapter 4. And we are going to be preparing closing entries for a merchandiser. It says the following list includes temporary accounts from the December 31st adjusted tile balance of Emico Company. Use these normal account balances to journalize closing entries. So we've got 4 parts to this that we're going to be looking at. And the nice thing is the question here outlines the 4 steps that we're going to be doing. So step 1 will be to record the closing of credit balances. 2 will be debit balances. 3 will be the closing of the income summary account. And 4 of the dividend account. The nice thing, like a lot of our accounting problems, is that they build on each other. So we're going to start with our first credit and really our only credit here, which is our sales. So we're going to come into this first box and we'll list this as sales, not sales discount, excuse me, as just sales. And we'll put that debit there of 537,000. And it's going to go on to the income summary, which you'll see us put in here a lot because that's what we're closing out, the income summary. 537,000. Now we're going to go over to the debit account. The debit balances now, merchandiser does vary a little bit from, and you can see that in the book, from services or retailers, in that it does include sales discounts, sales returns and allowances, and cost of goods sold. So it may be easy to try to take the income summary from that previous number and input it here, but that is not what we're going to do. The income summary is going to be first on here, and then we're going to put all of our expenses or all of our discounts and things here in the debit column. We will add all those up, and that'll be what we put in our income summary. So we start with sales discounts, and that is 5,200. We have costs, and I've already got this written out, so that's why I'm looking down here. 216,000. We've got sales returns and allowances at 17,900. We've got sales, salaries, expenses at 50,000. We've got utilities expense at 16,000. We've got selling expense at 37,000. And we've got administrative expenses at 107,000. Now you'll take all those numbers together. I'm just going to double check that I've inputted correctly here. 59, 50, 16, 37. And that'll get you your total for your income summary of $449,100. Moving on to number 3. We are going to record the closing of the income summary. So we're going to again put income summary here. And that is going to be the difference of our credits versus our debits, which in this case is 87,900. And all of that will go to our retained earnings because our sales minus all of our expenses is profit, in this case, retained earnings, which is 87,900. The last thing we need to close out is the dividends account. As you can see up here, the dividends is $35,000. So we'll take that from the retained earnings. We're going to debit the retained earnings, the 35,000. We'll pay out our dividends, the 35,000. We'll check our work just to make sure everything looks good. And our answer is complete and correct. So, just as a quick review, everything I took was here, and I apologize I wasn't scrolling back up and down the whole time. I printed it just so it'd be a little bit easier for me to see as I recorded this video. But step one is we're going to close out the sales. Step two, the credits, which would be the sales, as you can see up at the top. Sales is under the credit. Then we go down to the debit and we will do all the debits, excluding the dividends, because we're actually going to do that later. Then we will do close out the income summary, which that would all be our profit. It's going to go to retained earnings, and then we will pay out our retained earnings as in the form of dividends. And so we will uh, debit our retained earnings and credit the dividends. So sales first, then we take all of our expenses and add them up to get our income summary for our debit. We take the difference of those, and that gets us our income summary and retained earnings. And then we take those retained earnings and we do the dividend. So once again, like most things this semester, it all builds up on itself. If you have any questions this week, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to help you however I can. Thanks.